Topic for the day, also brought to you by you. Go to kindafunny.com/Gamescast topic.
Have we said Steven Insler yet?
We haven't.
Patreon producer.
Shout out to Steven Insler. Bow, 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 bow. This comes
Thanks for
from
supporting us at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where you can go there and support us too and get your name right on the show as well.
Matthew Santamaria. He says, if the NX was never coming out, what would a Nintendo console you designed look like? Form, games, power, whatever.
I would tell Nintendo stop.
Really?
Hey guys, let's put our shit on other consoles. Like, let's just make a lot of money. Let's just fucking roll in money. Do we need another machine? No.
Yeah.
Can we make one that's successful? Because like now I'm juiced for the NX, what we think it is, the portable go everywhere system. Okay, cool, I'm in. Put a fucking battery in it that matters, please. But other than that, I think that sounds great. And so now that I think that sounds great, that's what I'd think about.
Yeah.
I've never ever since I shouldn't say never ever, but since everything's happened now and Nintendo's gone off on their own, Colin's always like, I hope they come back and they fight the big guys and they make a big thing and they appeal to third parties. And I'm like, no, I don't want them to do that because Xbox and PlayStation have that covered. I'm not going to be excited to. We've lived this universe before where it's like, all right, cool. Nintendo's coming in. They're making it on par with the other systems, but they have this weird controller. So now you can play. What's a good third party game coming up? That's not. I'm thinking Gears. I'm thinking Horizon. Give me a third party game that we care about, kind of. The next Splinter Cell's coming. The next Mass Effect's coming, and it has this kind of thing that you can only do on the Nintendo. I don't care. That's not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's not what's going to get me to go play it. Yeah. So why does it matter? I know we make Colin makes the argument that I do think matters in the fact that the Wii U sales, the Wii U success proves that there's not just enough Nintendo fans. Nintendo's doing something different fans. I'm going to go support them. We don't need third parties. But it wouldn't be but for some of these third-party games, there is an argument to be made that, let's say I wanted to play Madden this next year, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, all right, cool, there's going to be the Wii or the NX version that, I can play on the go and I can take my season on the road and it's going to look worse than my PlayStation 4 copy. But would that really stop me? Like, I'm not a competitive, like, hey, let's go. I am a competitive local guy and I never get all the trophies in Madden. So it's all of a sudden like, do I care about any of that? If I could be playing it on a plane, not with you because you wouldn't play it, but somebody else I'm playing on a plane, or I'm just taking the Chicago Bears through season after season after season while I watch something on Virgin America. That sounds really appealing. That's what I always wanted out of the Vita version. I wanted there to be a Vita version that communicated with the PS3 version at the time, 4 version now, where my save comes with me and I go and I play. And then Vita just sucked and nobody cared and nobody wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Those are the little things, but yeah.
As the Nintendo guy of us, I also agree that I wish that Nintendo would just make games for the other consoles because then they could just focus on making games. Yeah. And that's the stuff that I care about the most at the end of the day of 100%, all of Nintendo. 100%.
And that's what they do best.
Yeah. They have the characters, they have the games, they have so many genres covered. So many in unique different ways that the other guys don't do. Yeah. No one else does. So it's like, cool. Just do that for them, profit, that'll be great. Having said that, I do think that this direction they're taking, or potentially taking, with the handheld thing is very interesting and smart. And again, I've said this a couple weeks ago. I didn't see this coming, really. Like I hoped,
but yeah,
I wouldn't have guessed that it would have been a handheld hybrid. I always thought of it as a console hybrid, where it was backwards. Where I didn't want it to be, it's a console that you can kind of take with you. The idea of it being a handheld that you can also play on the screen, I think is the right way to think about it, because then it's handheld first, which is what Nintendo has always done right. Always.
Yeah, since Game Boy.
And Virtual Boy doesn't count because Virtual Boy is not a portable system.
No, you can carry it around.
You can carry it around the GameCube because it had a handle. Doesn't make it a portable system. But yeah, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, all of them have great libraries of games.
Right.
And
vast, some would say.
It's a vast library. And the idea of Nintendo being out of the handheld space is concerning to me because if they're not doing it, nobody's doing it right.
Yeah, no.
And I think that this keeps that going, so it's not all just mobile games. Not to hate on mobile games. I think that had Nintendo backed out completely of hardware and made mobile games, like real mobile games, and PS4 and Xbox One games, my God, that would be amazing. But I think that they're kind of potentially nailing what I believe they should be doing in order to succeed. Because the doing something different, I think, is going to help them.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that they did differently was the wrong thing with the Wii U.
Sure, I agree with that.
And the Wii as well, but that's only an argument from a critical standpoint, not from a success standpoint.
Well, I think you can make the argument critically, and then I think you could also make it just looking at the fan base too. You know what I mean? Like the numbers are all skewed and it's different things, but like people always, I mean, like I almost brought it up in excitement. Like I was wigging out for the Wii. When the Wii came around, the Wii set everything right for me, where it was like PS3 and 360 had come out, right? Or were about to come out when the Wii gets announced.
PS3 and Wii came out.
Right, same day. And 360 was already out. I apologize. And both 360 and PS3 disqualified themselves from me because I didn't have Ethernet in the house and I didn't have an HD TV, and they wanted so much money, and I was poor and just out of college. I was like, no way. And then Nintendo came along. We're making this system. It's got this cool controller. We're gonna let you play all the old games, download them. And I was like, oh, like that's fascinating. That's really interesting. That speaks to me right now. And if they would have stuck with that and still been like, we are this machine for gamers, and we're going to give you the toys you expect from Nintendo and all these classic things and da-da-da, it would have been a different story. But then the market exploded, right? And it was suddenly casual, quote-unquote, gamers. And when I say casual, I mean my mom. I mean the grandmothers at the nursing home and stuff like that. And I'm not.
I mean, it changed what casual gamers meant.
Exactly. And so when they got on board, that's when it was. Everybody's got the money symbols in their eyes, and Ubisoft was like, here's a million
rabid
things.
games. Yeah, and that was the problem, is we never got the promise of the Wii, really. In terms of its the mechanics of the what the Wiimote could have done.
You never got that lightsaber game.
You never got the lightsaber game. Yeah. And then the Wii U is an even bigger culprit in that it didn't have the success that the Wii did financially and with the new form of casual gamers, but it also never proved the tablet, even to its dying days, is still not doing it. Yeah. The fact that we're getting Star Fox and it's trash, and that was the game that was supposed to use the tablet. It's like, it's just so infuriating. And this is the big hope for me, is that Nintendo doesn't do this again, where you need to have a cool idea to use the different tech before you just make the different tech and be like, oh, we'll figure it out later. Yeah. Because you're not going to have the time to figure it out later. And if you don't have it figured out, guess what? The other people aren't going to understand. At all.
Players won't understand it or want it, and developers won't want to make for it.
Yeah. So like the argument about the there's not enough Nintendo fans to support it or whatever, it's like the proof is in the pudding in terms of like that is obviously happening now with the Wii U.
But the one thing about it is, to the defense of the Nintendo and this argument that Nintendo fans weren't there to support it, there clearly aren't enough. I think even Nintendo, this is the console where Nintendo fans even were like, I don't know, guys, this isn't doing what I want you to do. Yeah. And so if the NX comes out and it's like, hey, it's a Nintendo handheld TV thing, whatever, and it's mainly going to be supported by us, and we're giving you Metroid, Zelda, Mario Kart, and then you go down that list, and everybody's like, okay, cool. Like, now we get it. And if you're committed to gamers, we'll be committed to you. That's the big thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's really it. And so in terms of what would I do, I would make sure that it's a handheld system that is powerful enough that it's not a joke. Yeah. And it's weird because it puts in a place of like, I can't believe that we're now talking about this as if it's a good idea, because it's like, that's like talking about the Vita 2. Like, is that a good idea? No, it's not a good idea. Why is it a good idea for Nintendo?
Because they're Nintendo.
I don't know, but they're Nintendo.
That's the whole thing. Is
that's
like
enough.
If I like when you talk about it being the Vita 2, like, don't get me wrong, I see that, and I wish the Vita 2 would be this or whatever. But really, what the fact of the matter is, it wouldn't be, because it's not going to be bringing the PlayStation 4 and the Vita together. This is Nintendo. Hopefully, if they market it right, being like, cool guys, this is the unit, this is the machine, this is what we play, this is the Nintendo. Yeah, and I hope that'd be awesome if they called it that.
That'd be so fucking
This
cool.
is the Nintendo, and this is what you're making for,
cry.
and this is what
I would
we do.
literally cry if I'm in that room and they're like, it's called the Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh. Let's introduce you to the all-new Nintendo. Exactly.
But yeah, it's like if they give me that lineup of games and like show me a future that I'm looking down the barrel at and I'm like, oh my god.
And I mean, like, think about, like, I mean, just it'd be so easy to be like, this is the all new Nintendo, right? And they're like, all right, cool. Everything on the eShop is available to play here. Every DS game, everything let's say you missed the DX game, you can play it here. I don't know if it's possible to bring Wii games over, but similar things. We're re-releasing Mario Kart 8, and we're releasing Smash, and we're doing all these things.
Man, see, that to me is where we're gonna get into some issues here, because the overhyping. Like, it's so funny because I read NeoGAF every night, and especially recently, there's been a lot of NX threads popping up of different things, and a lot of people are talking about how a lot of people are positive about the NX, or a lot of people are being negative about the NX, or this and that. And people have opinions. It's what the internet's for. Yeah. But I think the difference here is that we're getting dangerously like we were getting dangerously close to no one. I mean, we're already there where no matter what the NX is, it's not going to be this magical fucking thing that changes your life. But it's like, I feel like with what's leaking now, it's setting it at a more realistic thing of like, what we're talking about is not revolutionary. Like, it's not the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bible did change things.
This sounds possible. And I think that's the most important part, is that it sounds possible for Nintendo to do this and succeed doing it. This can excite people. This can get people on board, and it can be good in all those ways.
But we are doing the thing where we're No Man's Skying it to an extent, right? Where we're sitting here, I'm saying what, and they say every eShop game works.
That's what the point that I'm building to here is. It's like all this stuff about it being a portable thing, and they're only using the Nintendo and whatever. All that's possible. A couple weeks ago, talking about there might be a trophy system. There might be, or you talking about all the virtual console games being available. That's where we're going to get disappointed.
Yeah.
To me, all that stuff is optional. Is not the right word, because I don't think it's optional. I think it is a failure on their part to not have those things. Having said that, I do not think that they go without saying, and I think that having them is just going to make me go, yes.
Yeah.
Not having them is just going to make me go, God damn it, Nintendo.
Right.
You know, but it's that is where the No Man's Sky hype comes into it.
Yeah.
It's like, it scares me because, what would I do with the system? Come up with a Netflix style subscription where you pay, you can play all the fucking Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Trophy systems, all this stuff's in there. Go for it. Here's a release schedule for the next year of the games you're playing. Here's some ideas of titles that are going to be coming next year. Thank you. Here's all the NX games that we're going to port over, and the Wii U games.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. The Wii U games we're porting over to NX. And like how they're going to work, what enhancements they're going to have, all this shit. Yes. Thank you. Please just do that. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And also here's Mario Golf.
And Mario Golf. At some point.
And we're going to finally release the Dry Bones amiibo. It comes with every NX.
But dude, see, that's the thing. Mario Golf would not be an afterthought, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, do we do it on Wii U or 3DS?
Totally.
And we're just doing it for this one system. We're also getting the Metroid game here. Pokemon is no longer we're waiting for a console Pokemon. Guess what? This is the console Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is what we've always wanted.
Yep. It could be revolutionary for Nintendo. It could be amazing.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Me too. If One Track Gamers wants to know, if you were given a chance to make a video game documentary, what would it be about?
That's a great question. Shit. Immediately, I think of Kojima here with his rise and fall at Konami, and then getting out on his own. That'd be great. Just the Kojima story. But if you could get Konami to talk about what happened, find out what's happening there, then you go to I'm just the headlines we always talk about, the Naughty Dog stuff with Amy and Neil and Bruce and all that stuff. What really happened? Everyone on the record. This is what happened. What was Amy's Uncharted going to be? How much time did they? What did they scrap? How did they keep it? Talk to the actors who have left, like that Alan Tudyk guy, right? Isn't he talked about leaving and how they had to go, and Todd Stashwick and all this stuff. Find out everything that's happened there. What do you got?
I don't know. I feel like that's just obviously
exactly,
good, but I feel like you need to tie it to something that is relevant. On a broader scale, and I can tell that personal story.
Sure.
So that's why I think Kojima makes a lot of sense. I think that obviously Miyamoto in a bunch of different regards makes a lot of sense. I think the Uncharted thing needs a different angle.
That's like a 30 for 30. That's like a very. That's not like we need to make a documentary movie.
Documentary, like I mean, Console Wars would make a sick ass documentary.
Well, they're supposed to be doing that, right? Isn't that the thing they've been working on?
Yeah, but I also think there's a lot of you can pick so many different points in Mario games that I think would be really interesting, but I would love to see a documentary about the console wars, the next generation. So PlayStation 1 versus Sega Saturn versus N64.
Yeah.
I think there's a really interesting story there, and I'd love to see footage of Mario 64 at E3.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that, where it's like, how did people react to seeing this for the first time? We all have all our memories, but like that's such a weird forgotten time where people didn't have access to cameras on their phones everywhere they went. Yeah. And E3 wasn't live streamed and like all that stuff. So I think that
E3 in general, it would be easier if and this sounds horrible, but if E3 ended to then do a documentary about it. But yeah, I mean like E3 used to be in Atlanta and all this crazy weird shit in Vegas and all these things. And like, it was like, the afterthought of CES and all these different, it's like, I'd love to see how that progressed to where it is now.
E3, that's it. My money's on that. That's a really good call because there's interesting stories there, and there's so many moments that you can use as the kind of like
Right.
touchstones to build everything. Man, there you go.
Open on the, what was it? The shit. Was it Gamecock? What was the stupid publisher? I think it was Gamecock, right? That did the funeral for E3 at the Santa Monica E3. They were like a bunch of assholes. All right.
Damn.
Start there and then have it be like dial it back to that point and then show it come back and to where it is now.
That's awesome. Jared007 says, with Crash Remastered, can Sony do it to Spyro as well? Or no, because Activision already messed up Spyro? I don't think that, I mean, I'm not going to get into did they not mess up Spyro. I don't think that this affects the likelihood or quality of Spyro 1 through 3. A trilogy being remastered or not. I think that if the Crash one does well, I think it's almost for sure we'll see a Spyro.
The thing about it, like the Crash one is like, man, people talk and ask for that Crash one. I never hear people asking for the Spyro one.
But they will once they place Crash. If they,
I don't think they will in that number. But I'm with you.
I mean, well,
I understand what you're saying.
All I'm saying is you're right. Everyone's talking about Crash. Everyone's only talking about Crash because people are talking about Crash. And I think that now that Crash is announced, you will not see a single video about Crash without some comments being like, when's Spyro coming?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's you give the mouse a cookie, they're gonna want more, and
sure.
so it's gonna go from there. I do think that there's a chance. I love Spyro, the games, the 1 through 3. I'd never beat Year of the Dragon. That got a little
the Cisco game.
That kind of Sonic adventured it for me, where it's like, you're giving Spyro a bunch of friends that I don't want to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Let's stop. But Spyro 1 and 2 definitely have very fond memories playing those games. But I wonder how they hold up, because they were a bit more open.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Uh-oh.
Because I was just about to say, instead of if the Crash Remastered does well, please don't go into the comments and say, can I please have a Spyro Remastered collection? Ask for a Patapon Remastered collection, which was a trilogy. A true trilogy with no spin-offs that got better and better as it went gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the greatest trilogy of all time. I'm not crazy. Don't get me wrong.
I get it.
I'm just saying,
but
like, I should have.
You're a trilogy.
So all the comments on that breakout video are going to be like, oh, Greg didn't say Patapon.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Fuck you, man. Don't know how to live my life. Curtis Zinger, a.k.a. KG Zing on Twitter, says, I'd love to hear you predict a future where PSVR commercially bombs.
Okay.
What's the impact on the PS4/Neo/Sony?
Neo, who the hell knows? I mean, I think Neo will be fine regardless if it's going to be if it's framed around 4K and better performance. I mean, Neo is such an easy sell.
Mm-hmm.
Your games will load 20% faster. They will download a little bit faster. They would it's $50 more. Okay, great. None of this. Colin's not here to be like, it's a middle finger to gamers. Everybody can stop being babies about everything. If you just bought your PS4, that was a weird thing to do when you heard about the rumors of Neo. And also, do you care that it's 20% faster? Do you even know the difference? You waited this long to buy a PS4. PlayStation VR could be a huge, huge fucking problem for PlayStation. Will it? I don't know. I hope not. I do believe in VR in terms of this and what they're doing, the way they're talking about it. I think the people who have bought the pre-orders for PlayStation VR, you guys out there, because I know you all talk about it to us all the time, I think we're all on the right page. This is a very No Man's Sky thing again of like, our expectations are we're going to get a bunch of weird ass experiences. And maybe in a year and a half, we're getting closer to a game. Because the whole thing that's going to happen is you're going to get this, you're going to play around, you're going to tinker with a whole bunch of different experiences, and you'll all be done with them in 15, 30 minutes, an hour, or something like that. And you'll put it down, and then a friend will come over and they'll put it on, they'll get excited, and this will happen, da-da-da. But all of these things, if you're buying PlayStation VR, you are tip of the sword, and you are wave one of the beta testers of VR, where every developer has to start taking. We all have to learn how to play games again. We all have to figure out how not to get motion sick, what works, what doesn't, what a control scheme should feel like, what it shouldn't feel like, and that feedback is getting translated to developers who are then hopefully working on the next things. A prediction of how this looks: it's PlayStation Move. It comes out, the games are underwhelming. We all bought a bunch of them in the beginning, sure, and then nobody buys anymore, and developers run from it and don't want to develop for it. And I think the fact that you have 3 incredibly viable options right now for VR mean that developers are going to do it, but it is going to be that whole thing of like, the game I'm most concerned about being a huge bomb is Resident Evil 7. The fact that everybody's gotten sick playing it, the fact that you can play it without the VR, these are red flags for me in the fact that everyone you talk to about VR, it needs to be built from the ground up for VR. You can't tack it into another game. You can't do something with it. The fact that people are getting motion sick tells me that's probably a big problem for it. And the fact that I think everyone's going to get it and be like, yeah, a real game for VR, and put it on and be like, oh, this is not, I can't do this. This isn't what I think it might be cart before the horse in the fact that like, hey, let's put out a real game, but we don't know the rules yet. We have to go and learn so much about PlayStation or VR in general. So the prediction, would be is a PlayStation Move thing. It would bring profits down, but again, PlayStation as a brand just accounted for 76% of the profits for this quarter or whatever for Sony overall. So that number comes down, sure, but they're still making hand over fist money on the PlayStation 4.
I'm in the same boat where I think that it's going to fail overall in terms of it not being a huge success. And I think that is the marker for how this does. Yeah. But I think that it's not going to affect them too much. I think they know that.
And that's
I think the success would be a surprise to them, right?
And that's the big thing with me where I know I keep banging this drum and saying the same thing, but Shuhei talks about it being Gen 1 PlayStation. They know they have a lot to learn. I feel like the fact that it is sold out, you can't get pre-orders anymore, isn't because millions came out to pre-order. It's because they put out a limited amount of these because they're setting their expectations where they need to be. And gamers just need to do the exact same thing.
And I think that's smart. I mean, obviously it's an investment. They're putting a lot of money into this and trying to see where it goes and what it can be. And I talk about this all the time with Nintendo, but Nintendo with the Wii U and the Wii and all this stuff, all that innovation is a gimmick that succeeds. That's it. Yeah. And if it doesn't succeed, it's a gimmick. The Wii U could have been one of the biggest innovations ever, but it wasn't. The Wii could have been, but it kind of wasn't. I mean, no, I know what I mean. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we look back at it and we call it a gimmick. We don't call it
waggle.
Yeah. So it's had they figured it out, had they found that game that 1 year down the line, we're going to get a lightsaber game or whatever. Yeah. Then it would have been the greatest innovation of all time. I think VR is the same thing, and specifically PSVR is it is a gimmick. You need to go into it thinking it's a gimmick. And if it happens to succeed, then it's an innovation. And then it's going to be super awesome and great. But until then, whatever, it's going to be very similar to Kinect, where it was out, they pushed it, and now the Xbox One S is out and it doesn't have a thing for
a big thing and a callback to our topic one, right? Is I play Abzu. Am I saying it right? Abzu. I keep feeling like I'm so bad at pronunciation that I feel like that's not right. I'm playing it. I'm not enraptured with it. I'm checking my phone. I'm talking to Portillo. I'm doing all these different things. I still feel that for me as a personal, when I get my VR unit, PlayStation VR unit, I'm going to use theater mode a lot. And I really think that is going to change the way I play games in the way of, Abzu's 2.5 hours. Sure. Boom. Headphones. And suddenly I'm playing on a movie theater, this brilliant, beautiful game. And it's it's as big as if I'm playing in a theater all by myself. And suddenly that changes how I ingest games. Cause that's, we talk about it all the time, or I talk about it all the time, right? Of like, I love The Walking Dead. Oh my God. My Sundays, I start getting excited. I'm going to make food. Then I'll go over to the DVR and I'll watch it. And so many episodes I'm watching and I notice myself checking Twitter and doing something like, wait, why? I've been looking forward to this all day. Stop. And you got to focus. You know what I mean? When suddenly I can use this to lock out everything and not have to worry about if somebody's texting me or if, whatever, that's going to be different for me. And I really feel like, I know Colin is he's always like, the theater mode doesn't matter. It's not blah, blah, blah. I think it's going to matter more than people think, because I think what's going to happen is you're going to spend $300 on this headset and you're going to play these experiences, and then it's going to sit there and you're going to be like, fuck, did I waste my money on that? And if it didn't have theater mode, if it didn't have a way, like, I'm really in, like, again, No Man's Sky would be a game I would love to boom, boom, and just play and be left in that world and not have to worry about what's going on around me, like sensory deprivation chamber. And when you're talking about games that are therapeutic and relaxing, I feel like that's a big part of it. Yeah. I agree. I'm somewhere in the middle with the two things, where it's like, I think that the theater mode is very important, but that's not a selling point. I think that I don't think it's a selling point. It's a thing for the people that have it. They're going to use that because, you can, it's all just a thing about making your life a little bit better. Yeah. All the things you're describing, that's such a personal thing to 100%. You. Granted, a lot of people deal with that same thing, but it's like, that's the equivalent to, like, I'm not going to play games unless I have this TV or these headphones I'm using. And I'm like that. I need a very specific way to play games. Like, lights need to be a certain way, whatever else. I feel distracted. I feel like it's taken away from the experience I'm having. So yeah, like anything, if you care about games that much, it's going to be great for you, because you're going to have just more options to play games
a way that you might prefer.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do prefer that way, then all of a sudden VR is going to be great. But that's the thing of, will it succeed or will it not? We'll see.
Yeah.
I think that the answer is no. They need to prove yes.
Right.
You know, and I don't think that they will, but I think that they're okay with that. So I don't think it's going to affect Neo at all.
And that's the whole thing with Wave 1 PlayStation VR. I do think, they're totally okay with it not setting the world on fire.
Yeah.
I think that they know that that's not going to happen. And it is that they're hoping Wave 2 is bundled with PlayStation 5 or does this and does that. And there's some thing there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the first ever episode 80 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Kind of Funny Datecast.
Yeah.
We had Froyo. What'd you
We did
say?
that for you. I said, how the fuck you like that?
Oh, okay, good. I thought you were saying you're going to fuck me like that. I was like, what?
Oh, I'm going to fuck him like that.
No, this Datecast got
We'll
weird.
have to see you later. Bye.